Are we ready to start then? Who's the first person we have to interview?
Craig Brenizer for the Fire Civil Service Board is here with us first.
Okay. Good afternoon, Craig. So if you would just give us a little bit of your interest in being on the Civil Service Board.
Certainly. I've served on the Civil Service Board for 2 terms.
Right.
In an effort to, my interest in public safety goes back over 45 years. I'm retired from the Berks County 911 Center, and I continue to do emergency services consulting. And a primary reason of my interest in when I was asked to serve on this board is kind of as a testament to my late wife, who was a member of the department before her untimely passing in 2007. So if the city can use my services, then I'm going to volunteer them to you.
And we really appreciate that, because I think with your experience and your background, it certainly brings a lot to the board. What would you say are some of the challenges at this point with the Fire Civil Service Board?
In all honesty, Counselor, we really don't have a challenge per se, because our job is fairly simple. I think the challenge is really more for you folks on City Council. Michael Leifer, the chairman of the board, and I have been working shorthanded for about 4 years now, with just the 2 of us as opposed to a 3-person board. So it would be well for all of us, and especially for you, if we could find that 3rd member. I know we've tried and we just haven't ended up with success in that respect.
Yeah, and actually Michael has spoken with me about that on different times. So it's really a matter, do you know anyone within your contacts that we might be able to do some outreach?
Both Michael and I have talked to a number of our contacts within the service, and short of throwing them down and twisting their arm, we've come up dry. Some people have expressed momentary interest, but then it's never really turned into anything, which is unfortunate. I've spent my entire career in service and volunteer work and so forth, and I don't mind doing this at all. It's enjoyable. It breaks up the rest of the week, as it were. But it would be well if we could get to a full board, because if either Michael or I are unavailable, obviously we can't have a meeting, and if something bad happens to us, that's going to be really bad. But the board internally, there are no challenges. We have a good program going. We've gotten a lot of cooperation from the administration and from council in the past, and I think things are going well there. So whoever we get is that 3rd person is really, I don't want to say there is a time commitment, of course, but it's not a difficult commitment. It's nothing near what you folks on council need to deal with.
Right, exactly. Johanny, are you here? Do you have any questions?
No, I don't, Marcia.
I think just to recircle what you said. Okay, I think you make a good point in that a lot of times we have a lot on our plate, and I would like to circle back with the fire chief and be able to say, this is really critical to be able to maintain the workforce. You need to be able to have a functioning board. So that will be something we'll need to be working with the administration on. Okay.
We have been working. One of the things that fortunately both Michael and I have a lot of experience in emergency medical services, and right now EMS is going through an issue, not just here in the city, but pretty much everywhere, that there's a real dearth of applicants and people for the available jobs. So we're continuing to look for new ways to help the department to fill that need. There's still some vacancies. We just signed a list this afternoon that should be able to add 2 or 3 people to help you out there. So progress.
Fantastic. Do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so. I'm here to serve, and until such time that either I physically can't do it anymore or you tell me to go away. You would not be the first to tell me to go away.
I'm not sure that's gonna happen through this. Johanny, your thoughts as far as moving ahead for the agenda next week?
Can you repeat that, Marcia? I'm so sorry.
Okay, just to move this ahead for the recommendation for the appointment for the agenda for next week.
Yeah, we should move ahead. I just want to thank Craig for his service and dedication and commitment. And I hope that we can recruit and identify the right kind of volunteer to serve on this board so that we can extend him and Michael some assistance.
Exactly. Yeah, they've been really so dependable.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and we'll be moving ahead. Shelley will be giving you the information you need, okay?
Okay, then in that case, I will let you move on with the rest of your agenda. Have a good
Okay.
afternoon and evening, folks.
Okay,
Have
you
a
take
good
care,
night,
stay
Craig.
warm.
I'll try.
Mhm.
Bye-bye. Okay, so Shelley, we have another interview?
Yes, Sarah is up next for an appointment to the Environmental Advisory Council.
Great. Okay, welcome, Sarah.
Hi, thanks for having me. Nice to see you all and meet you.
Okay, so just a little bit of background about yourself and why you feel like this is an area that you'd like to volunteer for the Environmental Advisory Board.
Sure. So I attended Albright College and I have a degree in environmental studies in Spanish. I've
Mhm.
lived in the area since graduating Albright, and now I live in the city of Reading. I had an apartment and now I finally own a home in the city, which is exciting. So I felt it was really time to get involved with my community. For my career, I work as the education director at Schuylkill River Greenways. We're a environmental nonprofit located
my.
in Pottstown. Yeah, so we do work all up and down the Schuylkill River. You might have heard of the Schuylkill River Sojourn. That's like our big event where we have 150 kayaks down the river. So I do all the education there, and I was at a meeting talking to Bethany Ayers Fisher, and she said that, you know, they were looking for people, and I've always been interested. So I finally applied, and I would love to get more involved in, you know, local government and learn more about the city that I live in.
Well, thank you. And what's your understanding of the responsibilities of the Environmental Advisory Board?
You know, I've never served on the EAC before, but I think that it would be, you know, helping, pulling on any network resources that I could provide, any knowledge that I have that I could help the city, you know, improve their environmental initiatives, any support that I could give staff members that work in public works that they would need to do new things or implement new things, or, you know, reviewing different ordinances or things like that. And just kind of providing like a sounding board. I'd love to hear if there's any other things though that I should be aware of before I join.
Okay. Well, let me just turn it over to Johanny. Johanny, you have any questions at all?
Yeah, so I'm just curious. So what do you expect from your first 3 meetings, or like what do you hope to gain? What do you hope to offer? What do you hope to, I guess, create in our community?
I would love to learn about the people who work at the city, who are on the boards, who are serving in council positions. I would love to help, you know, improve anything or move anything forward with whatever skills and abilities that I have. I've served on other nonprofit boards in the past as, you know, vice president and steering committee president of, you know, creating strategic plans and carrying them out and serving the community. I do a lot of research, and I guess I would love to help out with anything that the EAC is involved in, and outreach to the community, talking to the community, and education or explaining things that might be new. I know that some environmental ordinances or initiatives can be kind of annoying, and I always try to avoid putting burdens on individuals because we already have so much to do, right? So I really want to help find ways to make the city greener and more environmentally friendly without placing the burden on the residents of the city as much as possible.
And when I was reading your application, I read you want to help the city become as green as possible or become green. So what do you think would be tangible? Like what's within our reach?
I'm a big advocate for plants. I think that they're pretty easy. There's not a big burden, of course, things like recycling that Reading does a great job at, or plastic bag bans, that can be kind of burdensome on people. So I think that improving spaces that might be like abandoned lots in the city or areas that don't really have like plants. I'm an avid gardener. I would love to grow some things and plant some things and get community involved and really creating a sense of place and pride in where we live.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do you have any questions for us at all?
Is Joanne on the EAC?
No.
Okay, none of you serve on the
Up
board?
to this point, it will be reorg. Yeah, I have represented the city along with one of our outgoing council persons, Lucine Sahelnek. So we'll be needing
Okay.
to appoint another council member. I am still interested in staying involved, just because the environment's been really part of my whole reason for being, if you may. So, well, I heard what you said about the plastic bags, and I agree with you as far as something that's doable. I just feel like environmentally, it has really become a major pollutant. So
Mhm.
that's a challenge. I don't want us to be adopting anything that's not going to be doable, but yet I feel like we have to in some way look at how to reduce the use and revert back to maybe the old time ways of using paper or people using reusable bags.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd love to hear what else the EAC has been talking about and Public Works has been talking about. I don't want to impose what I think we should do. I would like to learn from the first couple of meetings, before I promote
Right.
anything. Because I don't fully know, what the workload is on the Public Works staff or the other sustainability staff of the city.
Right. Okay, and you're able to meet all the, where the meeting schedule is, you're able to meet the meetings?
Yeah, I'm not sure what day of the month, but I know it's Fridays at noon, and they did say it was over Zoom because I am in Pottstown usually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Marcia, meetings are the fourth Tuesday of the month at noon.
Tuesday, okay.
Yeah, and they're meeting via Zoom right now, so you can connect from wherever or however. And I am liaison to the EAC, so you'll get correspondence from me about meetings and any information that you need.
Awesome.
And I'm curious, Sarah, how did you, oh yeah, you did explain. Someone told you that there was a vacancy on the EAC. I'm always curious how people learn about vacancies, looking at how we can improve on how we advertise more, because I know there's several vacancies across different boards. And we want to actively fill them. I mean, as you were listening into the Fire Civil Service Board, they're in desperate need of at least one more member. So
I was thinking about
get the word out. Huh?
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about that when Craig was speaking. I participated in like a tri-county, the Chamber of Commerce in Pottstown for Montgomery County. It was a leadership program, and they were really big on like service to your community, getting involved in school boards. So that's when I started to look at EACs. And where I lived before, I wasn't sure if I was West Reading or Reading, but now I know where I live. And then, yeah, because of my career, I'm in the environmental world, and Bethany talked to me in person about it and said that there was a vacancy.
Yeah. Well, Bethany's a fabulous advocate on behalf of the city. So a lot of things are going on right now that she's actually, with my work, she's put some real exciting things on my plate for wise disposal of medication. So it's really great.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Okay,
any
well,
like sorry, I was just going to say like emerging leaders or something like that might be a good place to advertise these vacancies.
Right.
Thanks,
Great.
everybody.
Thank you,
Well,
Sarah.
thank you. And we'll be getting back to you through Shelley. Okay.
Have a good night.
Take care.
You too. Thanks.
Okay. So we just need to bring Shelley back on.
Yep, we have Bob Conklin here. He's up for reappointment to the Planning Commission.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
And thank you, Bob, for your service.
No, you're very welcome.
And you're aware that we expanded the number of members to the planning commission?
Yeah, where there's 4 of us right now, I know there's an open position.
Mhm.
I didn't know that if it's going beyond 5.
It's going to be 7. Am I
Okay.
correct, Shelley?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So you have one of the really key commissions that you're involved with as far as setting the direction for the city. So I was just wanting to get your feedback on things that have been working well and things that haven't been.
Well, I think the bringing Alvernia down has really brought forward the force of and the desire to have developers actually come into the city and look interested again. But you know,
Mhm.
our commission is one that needs to guide that development to the desires of the city through their master planning, which is still getting finalized right now. I know the draft is out. But again, and also bringing in the train is going to be a great uplift for the city. So
Yeah.
if we keep pushing that through, that would be really, really nice.
So why have you decided to continue with the planning? We appreciate that you applied for continuation, but I just wondered your thoughts.
It's a rewarding position. I mean, there's I don't want to say that I'm just more than a liaison on the side. I have just that little bit more interest in the built environment as being an architect. So
Right.
sometimes some of my comments to the board are assisting them in backing up some of the reasons that they inherently know are going to be true, but it just puts that little bit of technical flair to the answers
Right.
that we put into developers.
Yeah, and just this is from my personal perspective, I'm interested in how a lot of the developers that are coming into downtown are looking at converting what had been offices into residential. I know you can't talk about it because you have to deal with each case as it comes forward,
Right.
but I think it's going to be interesting to see how it changes the configuration of downtown.
Yeah, I think once we get a more, I don't want to say stable, but a more residential population, if you would, I think the commercial will come back with a vengeance, because the services are just going to be needed, and people aren't going to want to go outside of the city if they don't have to. If they can walk down the street to get a loaf of bread or to go out dining, then that is going to be a desire, and people are going to see it, and they're going to want to come back and revitalize everything. It's gonna, I can see it happening. It's really, really close to just exploding.
Yeah, I work downtown and I can start feeling what's happening. But we need to have some more businesses that when I first started working downtown, it was when the Bookmark was open, a lot of different restaurants. You could walk anywhere you wanted to, and now it's become a lot more challenging.
Yes, yes. And then, as you know, we enforce some of the ordinances and not allowing residents from the first floor all the way up to the top, you know, making the requirement of having commercial on the first floor and holding their feet to the fire for that. I
Excuse
think
me.
that's one of the things that's gonna assist in that program.
So Johanni's back on. Johanny,
Yeah.
do you have any questions?
Yes, Robert. Well, first, thank you for serving. We appreciate your commitment and dedication. I do have a question, and it's related to the increase of members. And what are your thoughts about that? It was brought to our attention that there was a need to expand and increase the membership on this commission.
Well, I think it's going to assist us in quite a good way. I mean, we had, during the past year and a half, we, with the zoning department of the city, have made needed changes to the ordinances. And with conversations within the organization of our commission, it was difficult to get that moving, and it was needed for such a long time. And it was, one of the things was just because everybody has their daily commitments with work and family and such, that it was difficult to get that ball rolling. So I think I see this as a good thing. It'll probably make our meetings a lot longer because there's going to be more people to comment, but I think in the long run, all the side work, quote unquote, will be very beneficial. So.
And what areas do you think we need to continue improving on as it relates to zoning and ordinances and things of the such that allow for more development?
Well, some of the things that we were updating was just things that were no longer necessary, or we're not assisting in the master plan ideals. So I think we're there. There's a little bit to go, a little bit further in some of those changes, but I think we're pretty good in that situation right now. Beyond the commission, I think it's a little bit with the one stop. I think that needs to improve just a little bit so that the developer and or landowner has a more understanding of all the requirements that are necessary, not just coming through our commission, but the permitting and the parking rules and fire safety, all that is very important and needs to be done. So if there was going to be any kind of improvement, I don't really want to say that it needs to be outside of our department, but it feels like it sometimes when we have people coming and passing on the plans to us. So
are you saying that, no, because I was going to ask, well, how do we improve, right? But it sounds like it's other departments. So before it gets to you, we need to strengthen that area. So when it comes to you, the plans are complete and it's a working session. You're discussing and reviewing, and I get it.
So that's one thing that we're challenged at this point, is to have all the capacity at the administrative level for
Right.
planning.
Yeah.
Trying to say that tactfully.
Thank you.
Okay. But we know that, just to be aware that we don't want to leave you guys hanging out there,
I know.
or you guys and gals.
I know. I've watched, so I know what's going on. I mean, it is difficult, very difficult.
Yeah. And
please know that, I mean, we're here to obviously to help make the necessary improvements. So we're always open for recommendations, suggestions, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good. All righty. Well, thank you. If you do have any questions for us at all.
No, I don't think so. And sorry for my lateness on asking for the reinstatement, but I think because of COVID, something got lost somewhere. And when I realized it, I jumped into action. So thank you for allowing that.
Okay. Before we leave the meeting, I'm going to share something. Nikki. Oh, well, I was trying to share my little puppy. He's trying to interrupt my meeting here.
He wants to ask a question.
So, okay, well, every time I open my mouth, he's jumping up on me like, yeah, you're not paying attention to me. What's going on here? He doesn't quite get it. So, okay, well, thank you very much. And Shelley will be back in touch, Bob, to tell you the things you need to do to move forward, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
And have a good night. And thank you
All
again.
right, you too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So what's next on our agenda?
Concludes
guess
the
to make
interviews.
What was that?
Those are all the interviews, right, Shelley?
That's correct. So that's the end of the agenda.
So
Okay,
then we just need, are we gonna make recommendations for the appointments of everyone we interviewed, Johanny?
I think I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel very, these
Yeah,
folks are so dedicated.
absolutely. Absolutely. I just want us to, I guess, figure out like what's the best way, or what are the different tools we can utilize to keep announcing our vacancies, and I don't know, be in a more recruitive mode, try to get more people involved and engaged. Just
Yeah, I
trying to
know,
figure.
we really need to come up with a plan for that, and that might be as the new person comes on board, we can have a discussion, maybe set some time on our agenda with working, usually we have a liaison from the mayor's office, but I'm not sure that, when that will continue to occur, that we could plan together with the administration.
Yep.
Because I do think we can be a little more proactive about recruitment.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I
Okay.
know with that, fire civil service, that's been a real challenge that, Michael.
Yep. My neighbor.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know whether he's ever spoken with you about it, but
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
certainly
We
has
spoke.
with me.
Yep.
Yeah, so,
Remember
okay.
we interviewed him for reappointment also. Do you remember? I think that was last year,
That's
right?
right,
Yeah.
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 So,
All right.
okay, so
Figure it
I
out.
have to
Progress.
find my other devices. I was right down with work at 4 o'clock, so this was like a transition on listening to it on my cell phone, coming home, getting into the house, getting into my seat, and now I have to get my other devices. So I really
Yep.
don't want to be holding my cell phone for the next couple hours.
Yeah. I can relate. I had 2 customers here and I'm like, oh, I got a meeting to go to, and trying to
Mhm.
multitask.
Yeah, I got it. So I'll see you in a few then.
All right, sounds good. I'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.